This is computer-enhanced video of foam hitting the shuttle Columbia seconds after liftoff. As you watch it over and over, you see it's clearer, more detailed, more alarming than anything you've seen before. NASA couldn't believe simple foam could destroy an 89-ton spacecraft. NASA was wrong.
You see the hit, you say, ouch, that hurt.
Doesn't that set off alarm bells?
It should have. We literally have dozens and dozens of pieces of evidence all pointing in the same direction.
Just today, new evidence about what caused the shuttle Columbia to break apart.
We have found the smoking gun.
I kept insisting we can't rule out a flight safety issue.
In other words, we got the shuttle back before with foam damage, so let's hope we can do it again.
It wasn't a hope. Hope is not a management method I'm familiar with at all.
It's really getting really bright out there.
Just lost 4 separate temperature transducers on the left side of the vehicle.
Whoa. Look at the chunks coming off it.
Something has gone terribly wrong here.
Flight GC, lock the doors.
It's one of those moments in your life where you say, I can't believe this is happening.
She goes, Mom, is Daddy okay? I said, sweetie, I don't think he is.
Looks like NASA has lost all 7 astronauts.
This is all that is left of the Space Shuttle Columbia. Nearly 84,000 pieces of charred debris arrayed throughout a massive hangar at the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. Over the next hour, you're going to hear the first-hand, minute-by-minute accounts of Columbia's last voyage from the people who lived it and the people who investigated it. Good evening. I'm Charles Gibson. You have read the headlines and you saw the breakup. But tonight, for the first time, you will hear the inside story of Columbia's final mission. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
Charles Gibson.
This really is the nerve center of NASA, mission control at the Johnson Space Center in Houston. On the morning of February 1st, there were 20 engineers and flight directors in this room, each of them monitoring thousands of bits of data coming back from the Space Shuttle Columbia. After 16 days in space, the 7 astronauts on the shuttle were just 32 minutes from touchdown.
That might be some plasma now.
Think so, Eddie?
February 1st, 2003, landing day, 8:44 a.m. Traveling at 17,000 miles an hour, Columbia begins its fiery descent through the Earth's atmosphere.
Don, it's really neat. It's a bright orange yellow out over the nose, all around the nose.
Outside, the environment is unforgiving. The temperature, 3,000 degrees. Super hot gases flicker like lightning.
Looks like a blast furnace. Yeah, you definitely don't want to be outside now.
Max and GNC, you ready? All right, Max, we're ready. GNC's go.
Mission Control has run through its checklist with Columbia pilot Willie McCool.
And we're ready, Willie. No deltas.
Copy that, Delta.
Flight Director Leroy Kane is in charge.
When we came in that morning and began to get ready for our deorbit preparation and entry activities, it was right down the middle, normal.
Just under 30 minutes to touchdown for Columbia now.
At Kennedy Space Center in Florida, family and onlookers gather near the runway. John Clark, astronaut Laurel Clark's husband, is waiting with their 8-year-old son, Ian.
The kids are all out in the grass, running around and playing and having a blast.
Columbia's altitude now 54 miles as it continues to descend into the atmosphere.
8:48 a.m. Mechanical Systems Officer Jeff Kling is monitoring Columbia's descent.
Shuttle was very ready, systems-wise, to come in. The weather was perfect. It was going to be an absolutely perfect entry.
At 8:54 a.m., Kling is the first to notice a problem and notifies Kane.
FYI, I've just lost 4 separate temperature transducers on the left side of the vehicle.
4 hide return temps? Okay, is there anything common to them? DSC or MDM or anything?
There is no commonality.
No commonality.
At about that time, in Nevada, an amateur astronomer is filming the shuttle's re-entry.
Here we come approaching Venus. Whoa, holy crap, that was weird.
It's going really fast.
Just 2 minutes later, the shuttle is traveling over Arizona. Another home video.
Look at the chunks coming off of it. Yeah. What the heck is that?
Small pieces of the shuttle are breaking off, but incredibly no one, neither Mission Control nor the crew, is aware of it.
GNC flight.
Flight GNC.
Everything look good to you? Control and rates and everything is nominal, right?
So far, flight, we have good trims. I don't see anything out of the ordinary.
Okay.
Then I lose some more sensors in the left wheel well.
The tire pressure on left outboard and left inboard, both tires.
I felt that icy water in my veins.
Structural engineer Rodney Rocha is monitoring data in a back room with other engineers.
It went off in my head. It's happening. We're having a wing burn through. We're having something terrible is happening in the wheel well.
8:59 a.m. Mission Control radios Commander Rick Husband.
And Columbia, Houston, we see your tire pressure messages and we did not copy your last.
Roger.
The transmission suddenly falls off.
It's cut off right in the middle, just like that. That got my attention, because that is way out of the range of anything we've ever had.
And flight econ?
Econ.
I've got 4 temperature sensors on the bottom line data that are off scale low.
The environmental officer says now she has lost some temperatures on the left side of the vehicle. The data that I look at is no longer there. A completely different system that they look at is no longer there. A cascading event has happened on the left side of the vehicle, and we're no longer communicating with it. We're out of control in mission control.
Columbia, Houston, comm check. Columbia, Houston, UHF, comm check.
The seconds become very long. As I'm watching the clock, it drags on.
Fido, when are you expecting tracking?
1 minute to go, flight.
We should have had air-to-ground communications and tracking and things. When we didn't have that, that's when the butterflies started to appear, that sinking feeling in the pit of your stomach.
Bill Reedy, a former astronaut and now a top NASA administrator, is waiting near the runway with his boss, NASA Chief Sean O'Keefe.
A look of absolute deep, deep concern on Bill Reedy's face told me everything before he said a word.
At Mission Control, Phil Engeloff, a mission operations official, gets a call from a colleague who had just seen the shuttle breaking up over Texas. Engeloff shares the news with Kane.
GC flight. GC flight. Flight GC. Lock the doors. Copy. No data, no phone calls, no transmissions anywhere into or out. FCOH contingency plan procedure. FCOH checklist. Page 2.8-5.
It's one of those moments in your life where you say, I can't believe this is happening, but I realized that it really was happening, and that I still had a responsibility to lead the team through it.
Astronaut Rick Husband's wife, Evelyn, is waiting for him to land.
We watch the clock go to 0, and then it starts counting up again. And you just, I don't know how to explain it, but you just have that sick feeling.
Apparently it just appears that something happened with the orbiter.
Then I heard someone say we need to get the families back to crew quarters. Laura grabs my arm, she goes, Mom, is Daddy okay? I said, sweetie, I don't think he is, but I don't know anything.
NASA says they have lost communication.
The head of flight crew comes in and he goes, we lost contact with the vehicle. At the altitude that this happened, it's highly likely this is not survivable, but we don't have confirmation. But I don't want to give you false hope. There was a massive amount of crying and the kids were screaming. It was horrible sounds. Horrible.
Flight controllers here in Mission Control are securing all their information, notes, and data gathered from the spacecraft.
Yeah, RCC, the Rescue Coordination Center, is mobilizing to that area.
Copy.
The thought went through my mind at the time that if somehow the crew module stayed intact long enough and low enough and slow enough, that maybe some of the crew members could have got out.
Kane's tear says it all. There would be no miracles. At 9:29 a.m., NASA declares an emergency. Video of the shuttle breakup, taken by a local TV station, is broadcast nationally.
The very nature of what we do is we're there to help. And there are literally hundreds and thousands of circumstances where we can help. This was a day where I just felt very helpless.
After the launch of Columbia, NASA knew that a significant piece of foam had hit the shuttle, but they didn't know it would lead to this. An analysis